it's going to be easy. This time we are going to talk about a topic that is very important when you have a company, or in general, like if you are starting or thinking to start an online business. So we're going to talk about tax, which is something that is not really good. Okay, after we'll read some of your questions. I've seen that there's already some, but I don't have really time for read everything. So I mean, like I will read everything after. Like now, let's just start. Okay. Yeah, I'm canceling the notification at the moment, and we can start later. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's start talking about tax. So I know this is like a big point when we are talking about online business and starting your whole business. And I know many people, they don't start a business because they are afraid about tax, about if you are in, I mean, depending on where you live, for sure taxes are very heavy. They can be very heavy, especially like if you live in Europe. If you are from US, so if you are watching this live from US, maybe it's a bit easier for you at the beginning. And in general, like I guess even every country is easier at the beginning. So for example, in now I live between Italy, Spain, and well, I travel a lot. So I live in Italy, in Spain, in Dubai, like in many places, like for a period also in US. So I mean, most of these places, like when you start in general in Europe also, is like you have like a taxation, a proportional taxation. So it means that at the beginning you pay really few percent. For example, in Italy and Spain is around 5%, which is nothing. I mean, if you keep your salary below like 30k gross, so it's not bad. The only problem is like after that you have to pay like your pension, you know. So you have to pay. You have to save money. They force you actually to save money for your pension, which is something that's honestly like I don't agree, but the law say that, so you must. And by the way, like I mean, at the beginning anyway, can be a good situation. I mean, like it's not something difficult, extremely difficult, and that's why I think that when you start, you have to start. Correctly, it's better if you start in your home country. Even if the taxation is high, normally at the beginning it's always low or at least acceptable, because there are always, you know, like some sort of way for starting with a low taxation. The problem is when you start to do a lot of money, but it's okay because at the end you can move, especially if you have an online business. But anyway, like now we are assuming you are making a lot of money, okay? So it's not like, well, it can be also like, it depends, like, I mean, if you have also your activity and you wanna move everything online, or if you have your activity, you wanna optimize everything, I will give you some advice. And I'm telling you because I helped many people doing the same. So let's give some quick advice. First of everything, you must understand that the taxation is divided in 3 categories. So there's the VAT, so the VAT, which is the last part of the taxation. After there's the taxation on the company, and after there's the taxation on the personal. So personal income and the company income are different. So just remind this always. So personal income is different than company income. So you can't use the money of the company as they are yours, because it's not, and it's legal. It's not legal, and I know in many countries people are used to do this. So like they take the company, the card from the company, and they use for buy things in the grocery or for do their personal stuff. It's not possible. It's illegal. It's just like I mean, everyone do, but it's not correct. And no, it's also like psychologically, it's not even something healthy, honestly. But anyway, I mean, everything can happen to the company. So where are your money if something happened to the company? In general, like we know for sure that every company, you know, has a life like 5 years to 10 years. Normally, you know, people say that 90% of the company fail in the first 5 years. So honestly, like don't keep all money in the company. Otherwise, it's not a smart idea at the end. If you are an entrepreneur, you are risking a lot. So you want to be sure to have some money at the end of your game to your bank account in your name and not in the name of the company. So this is very important. Anyway, as I say, like the taxation is divided in trades. VAT normally is applied by people who sell, companies who sell physical goods, physical products, for example. So if you have an e-commerce, you have to pay the VAT. Now it's very difficult, especially I mean if you have an e-commerce online, they don't check a lot, but you have to, of course. And now, as you can see, like many platforms, like even now, like a digital product, this principle is going to apply also to digital products. I know it's a gray area, but some platforms are starting to change. For example, like if you sell on Amazon, they start to they force you actually to pay the VAT, the VAT. Actually, they remove it from the beginning of the transaction, so it is and it's a big part of your income. I mean, like, yeah, because depending where you sell, for example, in Italy is 22%, in Spain 21%, Germany or UK 20%. So it's always like a 20%. I mean, it's from 15 to 20% almost in all Europe. I'm not sure about US, but anyway, you understand that it's a big part of your income, a big part of your profit. So you want to be sure, you know, to honestly, like the only things that you can avoid this tax is not selling products or digital products or general like product, everything that can be, you know, identified by a product as a product. And I know some people can tell you, no, if you have a digital product, if you have an online course, doesn't mean nothing, honestly, because as we know for sure, I mean, just think about this. I mean, it's just something new, so it means there's not regulated. There's not like there is not still regulated by the law, but it will be, you know. And if you think even I mean, if you pay an ebook, Amazon automatically charge you, you know, even if it's a digital product. Some platforms are already starting to charge the VAT, even if it's an online course. And some people say online course there is no VAT, and I know why they say that, because otherwise, you know, it is a big part of your income. Otherwise, you know, yeah, I mean, some people, you know, online course say they do like 1 million gross, but if you have to remove 25% or 22% or whereas, like, you know, at the end, you know, maybe it will start to be really difficult running your Facebook ads or your advertising. So, but by the way, like, if it's not regulated, it doesn't mean that it's illegal, you know. And actually, I would like to remember you that most of, for example, like of our law are extended by others' law, and this is like the common law principle. For example, like in Europe, it's more common like the civil law, but the principle is the same. Like you don't need to have the law, because sometimes you can use a similar law, and after the judge extend, you know, like this principle. But anyway, the point is that actually other platforms are starting to, like Udemy or Teachable also, like they start, if you try to sell, for example, an online course with them, they will automatically charge their VAT, their VAT tax. So like at the end, as you can imagine, like, you know, that's why most of the people start to create their own platform. And normally, if you have your own e-commerce, if you have your own online course or your own academy, like, and you purchase the payment, of course, it means that would be very difficult, you know, for somebody to check. Actually, it's different if you use other platform like Amazon, eBay, you know, Udemy, because they, of course, they are very big, so, you know, they are checked, and so they, you know, even if it's a gray area, they prefer to pay tax. So just take in mind this. I mean, if you sell products, physical or digital, normally 90% of the time, 90% of the time, you have to pay VAT, and there's no escape about it. Sometimes it depends about if you are selling like with the, for example, like about case, for example, warehouse. There are some countries that allow you like to don't open like a VAT position if you sell less than a certain amount, but this is very low. Like for example, in Germany maybe it was 5k, in maybe in France around 10k. But after you must have a VAT position if you want to continue to sell. And just remember this applies, of course, always 90% of the time, always to digital product and physical products. So VAT, like, it's easier to escape from it if you sell service, if you sell consultancy. So in this case, no, you are more free, and that's why actually it's my favorite business model. Because if I had to do like a consultancy, like if I had to do like a coaching call with some of you, like I will not pay the VAT. So it's like not tax optimization, but my business model is more suitable for, for have a higher margin in this case. So honestly, it's something I prefer. But just remember that this part of the taxation, the VAT, 90% of the time you can't escape if you sell physical goods, almost never. And honestly, like a really great area when we talk about digital products. Anyway, excluding the VAT, excluding the VAT, like as I say, the two principles of taxation, and actually is like, I mean, are the principal two where you have to think when we talk about tax, is corporate tax and personal tax, okay? Very easy, corporate tax, yeah, and personal tax. I see somebody starting to ask some question, but I will answer maybe later, maybe. Now let me just drink a bit. Okay, so I say like, and now we have like the two principal taxation, excluding the VAT, which is not always applied. Like we have, personal income and corporate income. Very easy. So if you are smart, like, first of everything, like there is one that is more important than another, and this is personal taxation. Why? Because it doesn't matter if you have like a company in Burundi or a company in Dubai, for example. Like thinking a place where you pay zero tax, for example, UAE, or UAE in general. Like it's very easy to pay zero taxes, or maybe you have a company in Dubai. But if you are a resident in US, for example, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the year, you have to declare that you have a company in UAE, in Dubai, and you have to pay the tax as the company is resident in US. So doesn't matter. No, it's the same. Like for example, if you're resident in Italy, beautiful country, but at the end of the year they tax you worldwide. So it means that you have to declare the company that you have at the end of the year outside, and after you have to pay the tax as the company is resident in Italy. Same for Spain, same for almost every country. Like not all country, but I would say 85% of the country is like this. So we have to be smart, where we have to put our residency, because most of the country they tax you worldwide. So just remember, and this is very it's very common. Like some people say, okay, I do my company, I settle my company is in like in Panama, for example. So I don't pay tax. Yes, but doesn't matter, because your company doesn't pay tax, but you as a person, you pay tax, and you have to declare also the income from your company, and that company will be taxed as is resident in your home country. So just be aware, for example, because for example here in Europe, I see a lot like people, like they open a company in Bulgaria, very famous. So they say like, because normally they want to stay in Europe, so they will open a company in Bulgaria, which is one of the lowest taxation here. It's like 10%. So they say, okay, 10% is good, but after they continue to stay resident in their home country, so maybe like assuming like for example in Spain. So for example, at the end of the year, they will pay 10% of taxation in Bulgaria, but after Spain will ask them to declare the income from the company in Bulgaria and they will tax the company. So another time, and after when you will take the money from the company account to your bank account, you will be taxed another time, so 3 times, just for the ignorance. So just take a look at it, because it's very important to set up everything properly. So as I say, first of everything is more important where you are resident as a person. So because you want to choose a place where, of course, where you don't have tax as a person, or you have a really low tax as a person, and a place where they don't tax you worldwide. So it means that if you have an income from, I don't know, if you are I don't know, like for example, like let's give like a practical, you know, if you are resident in Malta and you have an income from Australia, they will not tax you because Malta doesn't is a common law country, and they don't tax if you don't bring the money inside a Malta bank. You are not taxed. So in that case, so it's really good now, because in this case, if you are smart, you can just put your money in a place where the company is not taxed or taxed almost zero, and after you put in a country where after you can put your home residency in a country where you are not taxed as a person, and neither taxed as like the foreign income. So in this case, you do 0 plus 0. Of course, some of you can say like, why it's not just easier just put your residency, you know, like move your residency in a place where you're not taxed as a company and as a person, so 0 plus 0 in the same country. Of course, yes. Just there are really few places where you can do it, because most of the place, like they do like the offshore, they propose you like an offshore. So it's like, it means that if you don't bring the money in, if for example, if you do business, if your company is resident, for example, in Hong Kong, but you don't make business in Hong Kong, so your company is resident in Hong Kong, but you make money, you know, selling products, service, everything outside Hong Kong, you are not taxed. So it's like an offshore, because imagine these are money that they will not tax anyway. So because for example, if I am an entrepreneur from Italy and you know, Hong Kong will never get my tax, so at least they say, okay, come here, put your resident here, so we will not tax you, we will give you the offshore, you know. So in this case, the offshore will give you 0 tax, you know, if you continue to do business outside Hong Kong. So in this case, I would go there, and they will have like a correlated benefits, because maybe I will go there and open a bank account in the name of the company. Maybe sometimes I have to go there, so sometimes I will spend money in the city. So basically it's this. So often it's difficult to find a place where you are taxed at 0 from in the same country from personal income and company income. Sometimes yes, it's easy. Was the same very famous here, Dubai. Actually not in Dubai, well, UAE, because there are many phrases on there. So for example, like I'm very I know for for personal reason Ashman. So there, for example, like you can open like a company, and the company tax it is 0. Actually now they are putting some limitation, but at the moment it's still taxed at 0. So you are taxed at 0, and after you use the company for sponsorize your visa, and in this case, if you move also your personal residency there, and you are taxed also 0 as a personal income. So actually there's not really like you know, limits between like the company money and your money, your personal money, because it's 0 and 0 in the same country. But this is really rare. It's not always like this, and actually 90% of the time there are places where you are not taxed as a person, and places where you are not taxed as a company. Just take in mind this, it's not always and also like, I mean, now I'm reading some questions, that's why like sometimes I'm suggested by other questions. And actually it's true, like you have to remember to be in a place where actually you want to live. Why? Because you can't say I'm resident in Dubai, for example, so I don't pay tax, but I will continue to live in my country. No, it doesn't work like this. Because actually, when you move your residency outside from your country, so for example, you are a guy from, I don't know, like from Spain, and you wanna move to Dubai for pay 0 tax, you can say just to your embassy. First of all, you have to communicate it to your embassy, so you have to communicate to your embassy that you are living there, and after communicate the same like to, for example, Dubai in this case. And when both country, they know officially that you are living in one of the two, at this point you are considered a resident there. But after, you must live really there. And this is actually a good point, because many people, and I saw this many times, they try to escape from it. So sometimes they never move the residency and they do money online without, declaring nothing. And in the end, it's the game that is going to go in the same direction. So somebody is going to note that you are doing money. Of course, if you are doing like $100 a month, two is too low. But if you are starting to do like a really online business, making 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 10,000, of course somebody will note, and in this case, like, will be easy to police knock you at your door and say what is happening here. So actually so this is the first case. And the second case, people that they communicate to their embassy that they are living abroad, but actually they continue to live in their home country. And this is impossible, because actually when you move your residency, actually you can't live more than 6 months of a year. You can't. It's the same in all country, because actually if you are resident in sometimes some country, they don't for example, when you move when there are some country where, for example, you pay your taxes, and now I'm thinking about, for example, about Dubai, about Panama, they don't force you to live there all time. So sometimes they force you to stay 1 day every 6 months, 1 year every 2 years. But the point is, and so you can live wherever you want. Other country now, for example, I'm thinking about places where you're not taxed about worldwide. I'm thinking about London, like UK, like Portugal, like Ireland. I mean, you have to live there at least 6 months a year. But anyway, there are some countries where you are not forced to live there actually constantly. But what is important is, and what is most important, is that you live for sure, for real, in your home country. So if you are Italian and you're moving abroad for pay your tax, you must, for real, leave your country. So you can't say to your embassy, yes, I'm living abroad, and after you continue to stay there. First of everything, because you can't, so people will know it, of course, because actually this is very important also. It's one of the reason why actually I'm reading I saw this question now, and it's about actually this one. So like, if you can't say like you can't declare the false, you can say like I'm living abroad, and after you continue to live in your home country. Why? Because if you say like you are living abroad, but after you have a wife in your home country, for example, like, I mean, if you are Italian, you have your wife in Italian, your child are going to school in Italy, you bought a house in Italy, and and maybe you also buy a car, the authority will assume you are living in Italy. You are living in that country, so you are taxed as supposed to be, so you are taxed as a resident, not as a foreign, not like an Italian living abroad. No, you are a resident, in this case, as you are a resident there. You can say, and actually you can get also a good sanction, because a good fine, because it's not allowed, of course. You can't declare the false. So in this case, just take in mind. Now let's read some questions. Like, can you, because I see like there are many. Okay, as you say, like here, can you give some example, practical? Yes, of course I can. For example, like, well, first of all, don't take everything as I say, because in general, like, if I can give you some advice, don't buy. It's always buying these things, buying consultancy and not buying course or books, because we are talking about laws, so regulation always change. So take in mind about it. Anyway, for example, like as I say, you must live for real in that place. For example, like at the beginning, I say like you can move your residency in Dubai, for example, using the free zone. There are many. Maybe you can use Ashman, which is what I've done years ago. And after like I sponsored my visa for living there actually, and I lived there actually after I discovered I didn't like, but this is important, you can't, you must live there at the end. So sometimes maybe you don't like a place, so you have to always take in mind this, because sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes you don't like a place, but you don't know if you don't live there. So you don't move in a place just because you see a YouTuber say, oh, here in Dubai, here in Panama, the life here in Cyprus, the life is amazing, and I don't pay tax. Yes, because after you have to go live there for real, and it's not like 10 minutes video you see on YouTube, it's your fucking life. So maybe you go there and you discover you don't like living in a big mall, outside, like you don't want to live in a commercial center outside. So honestly, it depends. Or maybe you prefer living in Europe, or maybe you prefer just living in US, or maybe just you prefer living close to your parents because they are old. So you wanna live in general close to your family. So you wanna be sure to you wanna be sure to get back to your country in 1 hour flight. It can be possible. I mean, so what I'm talking about, what I want to say is that at the end you have to adapt the taxation on your needs. So in this case, we are assuming that you are doing everything like legally, so you have to go to live for real in the place where you're moving your resident. So not just think to pay zero tax, just think to create a position that is suitable for you, that is comfortable for you. So for example, one of the, so answering your question, one situation that can be really good is like, for example, moving your company to, for example, still assuming still the same company, like for example in Dubai. So in your company you pay 0% tax, okay? But after you don't move your personal residence there, but maybe you can move your personal residency to London. So maybe you are a European guy and you like the European lifestyle and the city structure and the culture more, So you wanna live in London. So London doesn't tax you, they have a status called non-domiciliated residency. So basically you don't pay tax if you're resident in London. For example, it's the same for Malta, for Dublin, so from Ireland, Malta, you are not taxed on the income that you made outside the country. So in this case, and we're talking about personal income, of course. So if you have like a company that is outside, for example, it can be, everywhere. So for example, assuming everywhere would be a place where you pay zero tax on the company. So it can be, Hong Kong, can be Dubai, can be Delaware, you pay zero tax there. And so you pay zero tax on the company. And after you move, and after you will pay zero tax on personal income, because this country, for example, they don't tax you worldwide. So as I said at the beginning, most of the country they tax you worldwide, but not all. And in Europe we have many solutions. Actually, we have, as I say, Malta doesn't tax you worldwide, Ireland, Great Britain, UK in general, Portugal, they don't tax you worldwide. They have a similar statute called not habitual resident or something like that. So this is the point. You have to move your residency in a place where you are not taxed worldwide. You can do in Europe, it's possible, as I said. And after, just put the company, locate the company in a place where the company pays your tax, of course, because you want to pay less tax as possible. So just move the company in a place where you are taxed zero, and after move your own residence in a place where you pay zero tax, if it's possible, as a person. If it's possible, in the same place of the company, if you like, and also it's a easier situation because you do all in the same country. But it's also easier to open your bank account in the name of the company and everything. But if you wanna, you can do the same. Moving in another country, moving your personal residency in another country, and in this country you pay zero tax on foreign income. So you do 0 plus 0, total 0. So this is actually my best advice that I can give you, because sometimes, because doing like this, you can create your own personal plan. So you are not forced to live in the country. Like, you have more choices actually, because you can choose a country that maybe is closer to your original country. I mean, or maybe it's easier for you sometimes, even if you have like this is actually so many time here in Europe many time really. Most of people, I met many people when I was living in Dubai, that they had a company in Dubai, but they were doing business in Europe. If you don't know, I'm Italian, that's why I do a lot of example in Italy. And actually they were doing business in Italy. But at the beginning, years ago, there wasn't, for example, Stripe. Stripe is for process the payment, But there wasn't Stripe. Stripe wasn't supporting like 3 years ago the residency of the company in UAE, so in Dubai, for example. So these guys, they had an online business working really good, making like 10K a month or like more, some of them. But after they moved to Dubai for pay zero tax, but after they couldn't work, because the Stripe, the payment processor wasn't supporting an Arabic company. So imagine, so you have to really be aware of it, just take it in mind. You have to also, actually the taxation must suit your own personal needs, but also your company needs, because actually still there is not this problem. For example, if you have an Arabic company, actually now Stripe support almost every company. But remember this, I still know people that they live there, for example, but they have two companies. Why? Because Stripe, for example, support now, for example, an Arabic company, but they process the money in dirham. Dirham is the currency, the Dubai currency, UAE currency. But what is the point? They spend money in euro, so, and the people buy their product or service in euro. So what does it mean? But the payment process is in dirham. So actually customers, for example, they buy an online course in euro. After the payment process, change the currency because inside Stripe there is dirham, so they change, the currency, and they charge in dirham, and they charge like a 2% fees or something like that. And after, but you need the euro because you need euro for your business or for personal life. So they charge again the other changing. So they change the currency 2 times, and 2 times the Stripe apply them like a commission, a fees. So in this case, it's like you have a 4% taxation just for changing the currency 2 times. So imagine, you have to just take in mind. Actually, now I will give you another example that this has happened to me personally. At the beginning, I was doing e-commerce. I had some physical products. I have to move from one warehouse to another. And what happened was that actually the moment I had 2 companies, because I was in a similar situation. That's why I didn't I left. But what was the similar situation? I mean, anyway, I had 2 companies, but both companies were outside Europe. But at the beginning, at that time, I was young, so I could imagine that many companies, real company, not real company, I mean physical company from whole economy, if you want to say that. In this case, was a warehouse in Europe, and was really great. I was wishing to make a deal with them, and we were doing. But when I presented the data of my company, they say we can't do a deal with a company that is outside Europe. So for me, it was really, and that's it, and I lost a big opportunity. So take in mind, maybe you do contracts, maybe you are a marketing agency and you do contract with a European company, but you have to think that not all company will accept you to make a deal with a company that outside Europe. So of course, even having a company, for example, even in Dubai, in Delaware, in Cyprus, in Hong Kong, you have really zero bureaucracy. Like I had, so in Delaware, it's really like a paper, and everything is super fast and amazing. But you know, if you do business in Europe, maybe it's not suitable for you, because maybe, you know, clients will not clients will not be happy to do a deal with you. You know why? Because maybe you will do a mistake and something will happen, and they can't force you to pay them back or to refund them, because you are in another, you know, completely different legislation. So you know, you have to, you know, just take in mind that business is made by people. So business is made by people. So you know, you have to always assume that people want to protect themselves, want to protect their company, their business, their work. So sometimes people have prejudice. So of course, maybe having a company in Dubai is amazing, but it's really zero brokerage. Just if you have a lot of money, you can do everything you want for real. But sometimes, you know, it's just like this, it's difficult, because other company, they are prejudiced. I remember once, like, I saw this question before, so let me just connect with that. For example, like about a bank account. It is very difficult to open a bank account if you have a company in Dubai, if you don't have a lot of money. And I remember, like, if you know the bank, Emirates, MBD, they were asking me for like a 50k deposit, and after, like, for having a really bad service, like a bank account, because banks are really horrible there. By the way, like, it's not easy, you know, to open a bank account. Now, for, like, if you do business in almost all parts of the world, I mean, like, almost in a place there is completely white, completely transparent, you know, it's easy. I mean, because today there are many services. There's, like, before I was using TransferWise, now they changed the name in Wise, which is probably the best service that I can recommend you if you have an online business or any kind of business, even like a bar or something. Like, do Wise is amazing. You know, if you need a company account, they can open you in really 2 days, almost zero commissions, and it is great. It's really one of the best services I ever tried, and I used it like first years of my business. But from one day to another, they say, sorry, you have a company in Dubai, we can't keep your account open anymore. And they gave you like they gave me like 3 months for change for create a new bank account in with another service. And this was bad, of course, because of course, you know, was a super service, and I lost just because of my company resident was different. And actually the same, like, if you have your personal residence, because many fintech, they don't support even a personal residency in for example, Dubai or in some particular country. So just take in mind that you must also be, you know, flexible. So not flexible, but you wanna be sure to have all tools that you use for your work available in your residency. So in the place where you will move, you wanna be fully, you know, you wanna have all opportunities. And sometimes, most of the time, like, if you are a resident in some crazy country, you know, like, I don't know, especially countries that are in blacklist. Yes, especially, you know, in Europe, if you live in Europe, there's like a blacklist of country. Dubai is almost, for example, like going inside and outside like every 2 years. So if you are in a country in a blacklist, banks will never open you a bank account. Local company will not allow you to do a deal. You will have always problems. So you wanna be, you know, in the position where you can make money with your company, or actually in the position where you can work. Because sometimes, you know, what can happen, and this is very common. Sometimes your work will be just fixing problems connected to the bureaucracy. You know, can you imagine like how it can be difficult to if you pay the VAT at the beginning, like I say, like can you imagine how is long the bureaucracy, you know, for not European company open a VAT position in a European state is fucking impossible. Like, and I have done, so I'm telling you, it's too much stress. Your work at the beginning will, you move you move out your focus from your work to, which is something that bring you money, to keep the bureaucracy, you know, it is useless. So sometimes, like, as I say, like, for example, it depends, because sometimes if your work, for example, if you are just like if you receive, actually this is also connected a lot with how you receive the money. So take in mind also this, for example, because sometimes if you process your money, like for example you use Stripe, PayPal, that is starting to be difficult. If you receive also, if you just receive like transfers, okay, you can put your money wherever you want, and it's very easy. That's the point, is that just finding somebody who can accept your deal. But anyway, the point is, if you process your payments by yourself, you have to take in mind that will be difficult. Some platforms, some tools, some software will not support you your new residency. So just take in mind. Now let's read some questions. So I give you some questions. For example, like in the case, for example, if you do business in Europe, for example, what I will do, like I will do more than opening a company in Dubai, that would be zero bureaucracy, but in the end you can't work on it, you can't use. So you have amazing company with zero bureaucracy, zero tax, but you can't work on it. So I would accept a bit of bureaucracy, and I can just pay a guy for do it, but having a company in Estonia. So if you know, Estonia will give you zero tax on corporate income. Just at the end of the year, you have to do a declaration, and of course, you can just pay like a guy, I don't know, like a county guy for do it. Like will ask you like 150 euro, maximum 200. So you just pay that. The costs are really low. For example, if you, and after you, you have to just do actually just this declaration. But you have a European company, so you can be registered in BIS. I recently opened my Estonian company, no more than 1 year actually, but it's much easier. Why? Because at the end you can do deal, and it's very easy. You can do, because you are registered actually in the BIS, which is the European registration for a company. So everyone can see your company there, so they can see you are real, you exist, and you have more authority. If you go around and try to say, go in the real world, and say, okay, I have a Dubai company. Watch how people will watch you, see how they will see you, and you will see a difference. Because people will say, okay, yes, but okay, do you want to make a deal? How can I pay? Try to ask, try to go to a bank and say, like, I have a Dubai company. Can you give me a mortgage? And start to count, and you will see how many seconds they will bring you to the door. Try to ask a mortgage, in a bank with a Dubai company, and after you can say. So it depends. So just try to, sometimes you are full of money, and this actually was my position years ago, full of money, but impossible to show this money. Because I was in a European bank account, just even if you want to buy an house, even if you don't ask for the mortgage, you must pass always from, certain brokers. If you want to buy an house or a big car or something, like, and say, they say, where is your income? Say, this is my income. And, a paper from Dubai, a paper from Delaware, a paper from Hong Kong is like 1 page. So, okay, neither is written in English. So just take in mind that it depending on what you're doing, you have to be sure that you are able to work, because sometimes you have a company with zero bureaucracy, zero tax, but you can't work. So just take in mind you want to be able to work, and of course, like, try to create. The purpose of this video is you want to let you understand that you want to be able to work with your company. So don't try to follow the video that you see on YouTube or everything, because maybe that persons, they have different needs than you, so different business, everything, so it's different. So if I do like a B2C consultancy, it's different than if I sell physical goods, so in this case, try to understand that you can do everything, and you can really pay zero tax, even living in Europe or living wherever you want in the world. But always remember that you have to create, suits, like you have to create like a plan that is comfortable for you, for your needs, like personal needs. So depending where you want to live for real, and for your company, because you want to be sure that your company is able to work. This is important. Now let's read some questions, and after I will leave you. I'm actually talking a lot now. I think yes. Okay. I'm taking a question from Instagram. Honestly, just do one. Okay, what do you think? Okay, what about? Okay, Okay, what about if I change country every 2 months? Okay, this is a good question. So let's say if you are a digital nomad, no? If you are a digital nomad, so you change country every 2 months. So you say, yeah, nobody will see that where I'm resident. False. First of everything, there are 2 criteria, and I say I already say it once, is the connection of the of the family. So if, for example, if you have your if you are married with a woman, and your child are going to school, and you have property in this country, you will be taxed. That country will pretend you're taxed. Second, if you have nothing, if you are just a lone person, lost soul in this world, does not matter, because you have a passport. So in this case, if it's not possible, identify your taxation, you will be taxed based on your passport. Now, why am I saying that? Because I'm taking this about a personal case that I had, where a guy, for example, I remember this was a friend of mine. He was in Dubai, so he was paying for a certain period of his life 0 tax. That's it. If you don't know, if you Dubai, your passport can stay your visa is about 3 years the maximum. So every 3 years you have to do the same process for keep being resident there. But he didn't. So they done first 3 years, and after say, okay, I don't care. As soon as nobody say nothing, I will continue to stay resident there. So I will not extend my visa, but my home country will never know. They knew, of course, because at the end, what happened? The embassy of Dubai, so for example in this case he was an Italian guy, so the Italian embassy moved they saw that his visa was outside, was expired. So they say, okay, we are communicating to Italy that you are not anymore resident in Dubai, so you're not anymore resident in UAE. Italy, they say you didn't communicate to Italy that you were moving back to Italy, but they assume that if your passport is Italian and you're not resident anymore where you declared it the first time, we're assuming that based on your passport you are living there. Not matter if you are now living in Indonesia, living in the beach with your Indonesian gear and everything. No, it doesn't matter. You are not declaring nothing, so we are assuming you are resident in Italy and you will be taxed there because your passport is Italian. So take in mind that this is a big question. If you are digital now, if you are digital nomad, if you don't declare where you are resident, no problem. People will assume, the law will assume that you are resident in your passport country, so they will tax you based on your passport. So take in mind, because if you have a bad passport, you will be taxed as your passport. So otherwise, if you don't take choice for your life, somebody will. So no matter, you are taking even if you don't. Okay, I am US. What can I do for not be taxed? Okay, normally don't help a lot of people from US. Not joking. What I suggest, US, if you don't know, somebody of you, if you don't know, US is completely different in history. Okay, everything because there are really, I think, 2 countries in this world that, we've done a big 90% of the country, all countries in this world working the same things that I described you, excepting for US and I think maybe also Canada. I think there are just 2 countries in the world where we are taxed by passport, which is ridiculous, honestly. But you can be resident in where, I don't know, in free place where you pay zero tax, but they don't. Like personally and as a income, as a company, you also are resident a place where you pay zero tax. But assuming you have your passport from, for example, US, they will pretend you to be taxated on your passport always. So at this point, like there are really two countries that do this in the world, like, and one of these in the US. I'm really sorry. What I can suggest you is that, if you do like, US passport is losing the passport is something not recommended, honestly. Also because US at the end is a good passport. It's not like a European passport, which for me is better. I'm sorry for US guys. But anyway, losing a passport is never a good idea if you don't have one more. And if you are not doing 1 billion. I mean, if you are doing 10 million, yes, change the passport. With 10 million, you can buy like 2 different passport. It is very easy to buy a passport if you have a lot of money. Sometimes you have just to do a donation to the country. Sometimes there are countries like in Caribbean or like where you have to just do a donation or just opening a bank account and putting some money. Other country where also European country, it's easy to get in Malta. Like don't say to nobody, but you can do to Malta as well. Anyway, like we recommend you, if you don't do $1 billion, don't lose your passport, of course. Anyway, at this moment, if you are doing less than 10 million or something like that, like keep your passport and keep everything simple and just continue, because at the end, US is not bad place for business and actually is a really business friendly place. So I mean, if you live like there are countries that are much worse than US. US is not really bad. Like it's bad if you do like billions. So it depends. Like, and actually anyway, this is just for personal income. It's not for company income. So anyway, you can optimize the. Well, I'm not sure honestly about it because like US is like completely different issue. So you have to talk with accounting from US. Honestly, I just I just work with a European company, so and I think honestly it's easier. US is really completely a different issue. Let's continue to read some questions. I'm a bit tired, so let's go, I guess, for the last one. Okay. Okay, what about a company in Hong Kong? I said before Hong Kong. Actually, I have an account. If you want, if you want to use somebody, you can tap on the comments. Maybe text me your email or something like that. So I can help you. Like if you want, you can text in the comments. I can give you some contacts. I have many contacts for open company almost everywhere in the world because I'm in business since many years. You can do Hong Kong, but honestly, why Hong Kong? I mean, 10 years ago, yes. 10 years ago, I was about to, but I didn't. And the reason is really easy. Hong Kong, we know for sure it's going to be China in less than 10 years. I mean, like before it used to be 50, but now like it's already China. So I mean, at the moment it still is, I think it's a good place for business, but I think it's going to be one of the worst in few years. I mean, everything that is China, I don't want to put my money there honestly. So why you wanna? There are better places like somebody's writing Singapore. Singapore is also really good. And as I say, sometimes going to zero is not like the best idea because sometimes I know people that they wanna live in, I don't know, because sometimes normally I suggest always to open a company because it's also something different, because also you like a company like an LLC, SRL like in Europe, so because your money are different than the money company, and also it's the same for responsibility. So something happen, you are protected. Just remember this: people are stupid, people are monkeys, people are just and it's not like a bad things to say. I mean, it's just practical. So at the beginning, when I started doing online business, I was selling cosmetic products. I can say cosmetic products after I sold this brand. Cosmetic products. So I was thinking, okay, but you also always have to be making a lot of money, selling a lot of units. So maybe more than 1,000 units for a month. So I was thinking, okay, but are a lot of units. So in this units, 1,000 units per month. Just remember, probably 1%. In this 1,000, there will be one who is taking the cream and will drink it, because people are stupid. There will always be somebody, or something, maybe not them, but their child or something. Something will happen, So it's better always changing just divide the responsibility. So something happened to my business. Okay, it's my business. It's not me. Easy. I can just cancel this company and open another one. It's okay. So it's better if you do this. Anyway, as I was saying, sometimes going to zero is not always the best idea. Sometimes it's okay paying a bit of tax. Maybe you live in the place where you want to live. This is the case of a friend of mine. He lives in Canary, which is close where I'm now. Canary. At the beginning, it's 5% tax or something like that. It's not a lot of bureaucracy, and actually, Spain government give you a lot of money at the beginning, for starting the company. So really, it is really comfortable situation. And for him, it's great, because at the end, it's okay. If you can pay 5% tax, then if you choose to pay zero tax and live in a place where you hate, or pay 5% tax and live in a place that you love, where it's summer all year and you like the culture and everything, you're super close to your own house, and it's something that is okay for you but is higher for your value, then pay a few percent of years. Choose that, So at the end, you are free to do everything you wanna. This is important. That's why at the beginning you have to say you have to find your plan, not follow what a guru is telling you, just because they have contacts for the situations, just because they sell you a course for that. No. So even at the beginning, I remember, I think I also saw somebody was saying I suggest a book or something. No, don't suggest. I would never suggest you a book or no. I like reading book, but in this situation, no. I mean, why you are reading book about things that they can change from one day to another? Why you are buying course for thousands of euro that about laws that can change from one moment to another? I remember at the beginning of my travel, I was about to move to Portugal, because it was really good. I like the culture and everything, and maybe one day I will. But my contact at the beginning, was a lawyer. She told me that things were changing, and there was from a few weeks ago, one sentence from the jury that say that you have to have a certain requirement for pay zero tax, and maybe that wasn't my situation. So I had to choose immediately, and this was not written in a book. This was not said in an online course. So it's always better, if you're talking about business, laws, everything, coaching, consultancy, with a lawyer, with an accounting, with a businessman, with somebody who knows the situation now, not things that change every 5 minutes. That's why I say this. After this, anyway, excluding these topics, I love reading books, and I think there are a lot of information that sometimes people try to sell you paying, that you can find in the book for free. This is my opinion. After this, I will also say I also sell consultancy. I also sell online course, everything. But what is important, first reading books and everything, and you can find always all information online for free. It's just the situation, if you are ready and willing to read all this stuff, or you wanna find a shortcut. So it depends. If you have millions, pay what the fuck. If you have few dollars, spend $1 inside your business and use the long way, but at least you have money for do other things. Anyway, I think this live is enough, more than enough. and hope you have you can follow this channel, subscribe, and turn on the notification and do everything that can help us for grow. Also comment your opinion and I will be happy to answer you. Bye.